Elias was 64 years old. He had calloused hands, a calm breath, and the best recipe for beef broth in the entire Arctic Circle. At the Aurora Research Station, cut off from the world by thousands of miles of ice, everyone knew him only as Papa Elias, a man of few words who cooked with his heart. The young security guards would sometimes tease him. "Elias belongs in retirement," they'd say with a smile while polishing their weapons. They had no idea that Elias was looking at them with silent pity. He knew something they didn't, that the second you feel completely safe is the most dangerous moment of your life. At 2:14 a.m., the Aurora Station fell silent. 8 elite mercenaries, ghosts in white masks, breached the interior. They were the best of the best. Within 10 minutes, they had every scientist in handcuffs. Within 10 minutes, they had everyone in handcuffs. Commander Kobra just growled into his radio. "The cook, go there and tie him up. We don't have time for civilians." The mercenary made his first and last mistake. He didn't count on the fact that the cook stopped being a cook the moment the lights went out. Elias didn't use a weapon. A precisely aimed pressure on the artery was enough. The mercenary slumped to the ground before his brain could even register the pain. He locked the mercenary, now just a block of ice, in the freezer box. Elias took his radio and his knife. He left the assault rifle lying on the ground. For what he was planning, it would only be a burden. Elias released a 10-kilogram sack of all-purpose flour into the ventilation system. He knew technology had its limits, and that limit had just arrived in the form of a white cloud. He knew every squeaking floor panel, every corner. To him, this wasn't an enemy base, it was his home, and he was the one who set the rules of the game. When Kobra heard only the static of the dust in his radio for the first time in his career, he felt fear. That cook was no civilian. He was a wraith. Kobra stared at the symbol on the blade. He felt the blood turn to ice in his veins. That logo belonged to a unit that officially never existed. They were called the Archivists. Their job was to erase the errors of history. 30 years ago, Elias was given this knife. His mentor told him then, "This knife does not drink blood. This knife cuts the threads of fate." Decades followed where Elias moved through history like an invisible editor. He erased names from blacklists and destroyed weapons the world was never meant to see. He was a shadow that the world was never supposed to witness. Elias didn't remember his codename from those days, but he remembered the techniques. He knew the mercenaries relied on fear. Adrenaline is the best cure for old age. Kobra made his final mistake. He was no longer the hunter. He was the prey. He began to count the seconds that remained until the end of his world. Instead of a shot, something else came. A wall of fire cut off the only escape route. In the ensuing chaos, even the last emergency lights went dark. A second before Elias struck, he whispered, "Lead isn't on the menu today, boy. Today, justice is on the menu." The fight didn't last long. Kobra attacked with fury, but Elias just moved economically and efficiently, as if he was slicing vegetables for Sunday dinner. Elias wasn't seeking fame. He deleted all data about the attack and himself. The Archivist's greatest victory isn't a one battle, but the fact that afterwards, no record remains. When the Marine units kicked in the doors, they found the hostages safe. The mercenaries bound with butcher's twine, and the scent of freshly baked bread wafting through the entire station. "Who did this?" the Marine commander asked. Elias just shrugged and pointed toward the freezer. "I guess the cold got to them," he said calmly. "Would you like some soup?" "It's still warm." The world thought he was just a cook, and he did everything to make sure they kept thinking it. All that remained was silence and well-fed people.